Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, E-Coffee with Experts. My name is Ranmay, and today we have Chuck Peters, who is the owner at 714 Web. Welcome, Chuck. How is your day going, man?
Good. How you doing? Good to
All
be
good.
here.
Superb. Chuck, before we move any forward, why don't you let us know more about your journey thus far and a bit about 714 Web, what you guys are into, what are your core offerings, and we'll take it off from there.
All right, cool. 2011. Let me go back. So I've always been involved with the computers from a kid, the internet, loved it, studied it. I read
Mm-hmm.
books, magazines about Google ads and pay-per-click and SEO and always done websites. I made I made a website for my wedding. I made websites for special occasions. But in 2011, I was doing homeless ministry in Knoxville, and my wife was pregnant with twins. And I realized that if we didn't do something different financially, we were going to be homeless in Knoxville. I decided to take my passion, my side hobby, and try and turn it into side income. Right away, I ordered some business cards. So this is all the summer of 2011. I ordered the business cards. I get a few little side jobs. And then in October of 2011, my wife gives birth to our twins. And my son, Judah, weighed 7 pounds, 14 ounces. This is after I'd already called the company 714 Web. And
Okay. Lovely
so
story.
yeah, I just put my head down and went for it. And I went from friends asking me to help them make create blogs, to churches and nonprofits asking for websites, to small businesses and on. And these are clients I still have today. And so we developed, and that went on for a while. Then I went and worked at an agency as the developer. And then I went and worked at another business, maintaining a couple of sites, created a couple of sites, maintained them for about a year. Then I got my first real contract where I needed some help. So we went in and did 8-restaurant website contract in 2014. And that led to working with Paula Deen's restaurants. So now we do all of Paula Deen's restaurant websites. We do her e-commerce site. And then growing the team, moving forward. And then we ended up making a great connection with a real estate brokerage. And around that time, we ran into U-Gurus. So we ran into this U-Gurus with Brent Weaver, who really educated me on niching down to scale up, which didn't make any sense at the time. And I thought this was the dumbest idea ever, but it really is effective. And we were really able to scale up and hit that 7-figure mark. At which point I've just decided, man, this whole thing is so much more. It's so highly impacted by branding. Branding is just so important. And that's really been where my head's at now, helping people get their brand together, figure out what their brand needs to be, what it needs to look like, and how it impacts the rest of the business. So anyway, without going down that rabbit trail, that's the genesis in a short story there.
Great. It's really fascinating how you transitioned from launching your first website in 2004 to founding 714 in 2011. So how has been the journey? Could you share some pivotal points and have you being able to track down this journey from being a freelancer to building a full-fledged agency?
I got to tell you, the only limitations, the only ceiling that you have for anything you're trying to do or anything you're trying to accomplish is this right here. This is the only limitation you have. And I had a lot of limitations. So when I started on this journey, it was a pipe dream. I promise you, it was a pipe dream. I mean, my girlfriend, who's now my wife of 16 years, said to me, what are you going to do when you grow up? And I was already grown up. And I said, oh, baby, I'm going to be a web guy. And she said, what actionable steps are you taking today to be a web guy? And the reality is that it was a pipe dream. My father raised me in this world. My uncle was a web developer back when plastic Mac, you could get a green plastic cover MacBook Pro. Like he would get his Verizon Jetpack and his first generation MacBook Pro and go and build websites. And I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And so I was just enamored by it. And I had to do this. And this is just all these years of having a dream, but then corner by corner, step by step, as you go through life and things, you learn the things right. So I started out just using a lot of GoDaddy free software, the free tools in the GoDaddy account. And then I used Macromedia Dreamweaver and then installed a Apache server on my PC. So I just did a number of things, read books, played around, tested. Here's the thing. I had about a 12-year span where I worked 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if I had not done that, if you want to get somewhere, you got to do something. And I had to do that because I really was not qualified at all by any means. And now every single task that I give someone at my agency across the board, I can either do it or I can learn it because I've been studying, learning all of it. And I'm not saying I'm going to be better than everybody, but let's go, let's get our hands in, let's figure it out. Let's learn something. Just my whole life.
Yeah. It is also so impressive that 714 Web has grown to host more than 100 websites and manage 75 accounts now. Can you share some insights into your strategies for sales and account management that have contributed to this kind of success?
Sure. Yeah. No, and just to update those numbers currently today, we're somewhere around 300 websites with about 180 accounts. So that's the numbers. Yeah. So this is a big deal to me. This is something I'm very passionate about. I'm really passionate about sales. And the reason is because the sale is, it's where the relationship starts with the client. We have clients from the beginning, from way back 2011. We have built relationships for years with so many people. And I remember we probably were in business for, I want to say 7 years before we lost a single client. And one of the reasons why was because I was passionate about retention. I was passionate about the relationships. Now, we didn't really scale up in those first 7 years. And when you scale, you're going to lose clients. But I used to say that our clients would have to die for us to lose them, which really wasn't really a great joke. But the point is this: if you engineer your sales process, then you can choose the path that the relationship goes after the sale. What I mean by that is this: if you're looking for retention, then you need an onboarding process. If your sales process doesn't include the same systems and procedures that are going to segue naturally to an onboarding process and then segue naturally into an ongoing relationship, then you're really putting your client through kind of changes to be like, oh, look, we met 4 times during the sale and then we're not going to meet ever again. Or I sold you something, I did a hard close one time and you're not really sure if you signed up because I pushed. And then the next thing, I'm trying to meet with you all the time and don't even know who I am. So you got to have a before the sale, during the sale, after the sale continuity that goes through it. It's important. It's all about people. Inside the company, outside the company, you have to be people oriented, people focused. We're all, as digital marketers, developers, designers, whatever the role is, we are so focused on the computer. We're so focused on the internet, the technology, AI. That's the wrong stuff to be focused on. Like if you're going to learn something in your free time, learn about people, learn about profiles, personality profiles, learn about multiple intelligences, learn about meta thinking, learn about things that are going to help you raise your ceiling and get ahead in life and move forward. And that's people are it. People are everything. We can't do anything without people. Who was it that said, somebody's an incredibly successful person? It was Arnold Schwarzenegger, who said, people say I'm a self-made man. That's not true. He said, I couldn't have done anything without the people around me. So anyway, all that to say, the sales process is all about knowing people, understanding people, having compassion for people, empathy, thinking about people, thinking through the sale, thinking past the sale, thinking about how you can serve them best. If your goal is to serve someone, serve their business, and make their life better with your skills and your abilities or your team's product or service, then it's going to fit and it's going to work and it's going to be long-term. And you can get real value for the real value you offer. You can charge a great price for a great service. It'll match.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot really have a leaking bucket. It is entirely process oriented. when we talk about retention. And that is so important to raise business apart from getting new fresh business, which is also very important. But yeah, it is also extremely important to retain those clients who have been there with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And search engine algorithms are constantly evolving. Now we have the AI storm, right? So how do you approach this ever-changing SEO landscape? And then what tactics have you found to be most effective in ensuring that clients' websites rank well on the search results?
Yeah. That's a great question. I'm going to boil it down to the essence of what we try to accomplish, whether it's SEO, pay-per-click, branding, websites, is we are trying to find out exactly what our clients want and then how we can accomplish that goal for the lowest cost to them and the best results in the shortest timeline. And that's the goal. With SEO has a myriad of SEO, you might as well say art. What I mean is in the art world, you have painting, watercolor, oils, classics, digital, all chalk, all these things. SEO is so varied in that same way. We don't approach our client with our vast knowledge of the thousands of ways you can do SEO. We go to the client and say, what do you want to accomplish? What are you trying to accomplish? What are your goals? And if their goal is 30 phone calls a month that are legit leads or potential sales, or their goal is 100 form fills, or their goal is 30 sales on the website, whatever their goal is, give us that number. Okay. Who's your ideal client? Is your ideal profile, your ideal customer? And of course, we have to have all the analytics and we have to be in control of the entire digital process and all that information. But once we know what we're trying to accomplish, then we can strategically find the shortest path to that. And what I've found actually recently is I'm better off charging people a lesser amount of money to do a Google business profile work. So if we already built their website and that's the branded website for their Google business profile, then really, honestly, we make a page on their website called we call it internally the Google business profile landing page. And we actually lay that page content out exactly how Google lays their business profile out. So if you take a Google business profile on Google, from top to bottom, it is certain content every time, right? If you take just that profile and you turn that into a page on a website, that's what we build on the website. We build that onto the website, and then we send the traffic from the Google business profile to that page on their website with that same content, but more of it. Now, once we've done that, then when we create our posts, create our content, we're creating it based on the topics that are relevant to the customers who are the ideal profile. So if the ideal profile if my client sells antique red Reebok shoes, like that's their killer, like they're like, look, I got 1 million in inventory and I make $30 on every shoe. Sell me those. Then we are writing about Reebok. We're writing about red Reebok shoes. We're writing about these specific shoes. We're writing about shoe size. We are writing about the things that matter to the people that are wanting to buy the shoes. And we're writing that content in clumps of 10 posts in a category, linking it together, but we're also posting all that content in Google Business Profile and linking it back. But we don't leave it at that because we need traffic to these pages for these pages to be relevant in any kind of way. So that's when we get the pay-per-click the display ads going and push some serious amount of traffic to these pages. So not only are they optimized, but they're also getting a lot of traffic. And here's the thing. If you do this for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and nothing is happening, you're losing. You can't just have a checklist and check off all the boxes and go, I did my job. We're good. That's all I can do. No, if you're not getting, you need to be tracking your metrics. So impressions and then clicks. So often I hear this from people that do SEO and they learn not to say it to me on my team, but, oh, we're getting a lot of impressions. How many clicks are you getting? I haven't really got a click yet, bro. You can tell me that you got impressions once. That's it. Because the next time you tell me you got impressions for that keyword, I need to hear how many clicks you got. Don't come to me with impressions. I need clicks. And by the way, we're not winning if you got 3 clicks over 6 months for a thing we're trying to rank for. That's not winning. So we have to track. There needs to be tracking. There needs to be accountability to ourselves. Are we doing a good job, or are we just doing SEO? We have to progressively work better toward this. And I'll tell you why this is a collective effort, in my opinion. This is bad doctors. Like, bad doctors give good doctors a bad reputation, right? But there's so many more people in digital marketing field that are ethical, they're moral, they're good people. They just don't realize that what they're doing isn't helping anything. And then if you sell somebody a ClickFunnels, because you're a part of a ClickFunnels thing, and then the client goes, "Oh, this doesn't work," and then that client calls me, "Hey, somebody told me to call you," and I'm like, "I'm gonna set you up with a landing page," and they're like, "Oh, that doesn't work." We have to take our activity and track it and tie it back to an impact in revenue. And if we're not impacting someone's business, then what are we doing? What are we doing? It's all just art at that point.
Absolutely. Great, Chuck. It was lovely speaking with you, and I'm sure that our audiences will have benefited a lot out of the insights which you have shared. So thank you so much for taking our time and doing this with us. Really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.